The only time in history water was safer than land. Have you ever stopped to think about what really makes a place safe? I mean, instinctively, we know water is dangerous. Sharks, giant fish, creatures that look like nightmares, our brains scream, stay away. But imagine a moment in Earth's history when land was far deadlier than the ocean. Yeah, the ground beneath your feet was more likely to kill you than the water you swam in. Hard to believe, right? Stick with me, because this story isn't just about prehistoric life, it's about survival, adaptation, and lessons we can apply today. We're diving deep, way before humans, before dinosaurs even. We're talking the end of the Permian period, roughly 252 million years ago. Picture this, the planet dominated by a single supercontinent, Pangaea. Land stretched like a cracked, sun-baked puzzle, temperatures soaring, storms relentless. And on that land, predators didn't just hunt, they terrorized. Huge, ferocious, evolved to kill anything in their path. Life on land? A nightmare. Meanwhile, the oceans, well, they look tame in comparison. Sure, there were still creatures down there, but nothing like the monsters on land. In a twist that almost flips everything we know about safety, water became the safer option. And that's the irony. Our instincts, our psychology, tells us to fear water, but sometimes, the danger lies where we least expect it. Let's paint the picture. You're on land in the Permian. The air is thick and hot, the ground cracked like an old painting. Everywhere you look, massive predators lurk. Some are like the crocodiles you know today, but 10 times the size. Their jaws are designed not just to kill, but to destroy. Teeth like blades, claws like scythes. Evolution didn't just make them survive, it made them perfect hunters. Think about it, survival isn't just about strength, it's about adaptation. Stoics talk about resilience, about thriving in harsh conditions. The animals of Permian Earth? They were resilience incarnate, but in a brutal, raw, deadly way. Life on land demanded constant vigilance. A single misstep could be your last. Analogously, imagine walking into a city where every street corner hides a predator. You can't relax. Every decision, every move carries weight. That's what land life was like, stressful, dangerous, and relentless. Humans often underestimate how pressure shapes adaptation. Here, evolution went to extreme measures, survival wasn't guaranteed, it was earned. Now flip the scene. You step into the water, expecting danger, but you find calm. The massive ocean predators? Mostly gone. What remained were smaller, manageable creatures. The sea was like a deserted playground compared to the hunting grounds on land. Think of it like this, imagine walking from a battlefield into a quiet library. Same planet, same era, but the environment changes everything. Your psychology shifts. Fear fades. Adaptation becomes easier. And this is the mindset lesson for us today. Sometimes, the apparent, safe, choice is not the best choice. Sometimes the path of least resistance, the one we dismiss instinctively, might actually give you the advantage. Water offered opportunity, strategy, and relative safety. Land offered immediate danger. It's a dramatic inversion of what we usually think about risk. Life itself is a bit like this. Often, the paths we fear most hold the potential for survival or growth, if we're smart enough to recognize it. So why was land so deadly? Climate. Pangaea wasn't just one supercontinent, it was a super oven. Monsoons, droughts, scorching days, freezing nights. The environmental pressure on land animals was insane. You either adapted or died. Predators didn't just exist, they thrived on the extreme conditions. Gigantic herbivores evolved not only to feed efficiently but to withstand predation. apex predators evolved extreme killing efficiency. Every creature was sculpted by the harshest of selection pressures. This is where psychology sneaks in. Life on land demanded constant attention, awareness, and caution, mental traits we admire in humans as stoic discipline. But here, in a natural world, these traits were literally the difference between life and death. Evolution was the ultimate teacher of stoicism: endure, adapt, and master your environment, or perish. Contrast this with the oceans. Many giant predators had already died out earlier in the Permian. What remained were smaller fish and creatures that posed little threat to survival. Water became a sanctuary, not because it was safe, in general, but because land had become insanely dangerous. It's a perfect analogy for human life. Think about the chaos in our own modern world. Sometimes the riskier seeming route, one we instinctively avoid, can actually be the safer, smarter choice. Sometimes survival is counterintuitive. Sometimes the water, the quiet, the unexpected option, is where you survive and thrive. Here's where we can pause and reflect. The Permian period teaches us more than history. It teaches strategy, resilience, and perspective. Life on land forced adaptation under extreme pressure. Water provided safety, strategy, and opportunity. The psychological lesson? Risk is relative. Danger is contextual. Humans often overestimate visible threats while ignoring hidden ones. And stoically, the message is clear: master your environment, understand it, don't fear instinctively, analyze and act. Survival is often less about raw power and more about perception, calculation, and adaptation. Analogously, if you're navigating a modern career, social system, or financial landscape, some obvious paths are filled with predators, politics, burnout, competition. Other, less intuitive paths, the oceans, offer strategy, opportunity, and comparative safety. Most people ignore them because instinct whispers danger, but wisdom says otherwise. All of this lasted until the Permian extinction, the mother of all mass extinctions. Over 90% of life vanished. The land, as dangerous as it was, could no longer sustain life in the same way. The oceans shifted, too. Life had to start over. And here's the brutal, stoic truth: nature doesn't negotiate. Survival is not about comfort. It's about adaptation. It's about observing your environment, understanding risk, and making calculated moves. The Permian teaches us that comfort can be deadly and danger can sometimes be the greatest teacher. So what does this mean for us now? Think of your life like the Permian Earth. Some environments, jobs, cities, social groups, are full of predators, high stress, constant pressure. Others, less obvious, might be safer, more productive, or more strategic. Instinct might mislead you. Fear might mislead you. The challenge is discernment. This is where stoicism meets psychology. Train your mind to see reality as it is. Analyze threats, calculate risks, and act deliberately. The Permian oceans weren't safer because they were gentle, they were safer because the land was extreme. Context matters. The Permian period flips what we assume about danger. Land, the home, became lethal. Water, the unknown, became sanctuary. That's a powerful lesson. Life rarely follows our instincts. History rarely follows the obvious. And growth, real growth, often comes from understanding the unexpected path. If we pay attention, the past isn't just stories, it's a guide. It's stoicism in action. It's psychology. It's adaptation. And it's a reminder: survival and success often lie where others fear to go. If this blew your mind, hit like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me, where in your life might the ocean actually be safer than the land? Remember, the past is a teacher, and the lessons are waiting for anyone willing to listen.